Never undervalue yourself. You may think you don't do that, or you've never done that, or you would wonder why you would do that. Well, the reason you would do it is either because you haven't discovered who you are, you haven't discovered your authentic self, or you're not willing to go there, or you don't want to uncover your authentic self, or you've created something new and you don't believe it yet, or you're feeling like there's something more you're supposed to do, but you can't quite get there. And so you know that you're undervaluing yourself in some way. Now, it may not be just in terms of money, finances. It could be in other ways. It could be emotionally. It could be in your relationships. It could be whatever that is. But it all has one cause, and that is you're still in process of discovering who you are. And that process never ends. And so it's probably pretty impossible for you not to undervalue yourself, because as long as you're alive, there's more that you could do that could bring value to your life if you knew how to do that, if you knew how to uncover it, if you knew how to find it. And we're always discovering that. And I'm discovering that myself because I was listening to a video. This was a session, a Wilhelm session that I had, and it's called Redefine Success. It's on my YouTube channel. You can listen to it. And so as I'm listening to it, because I hadn't heard it in a long time because it's 2 years ago. And as I'm listening to it, it was coming through that I had all this information and it was so valuable, and I wasn't owning it. And I can say that because again, when you create something new, it's really challenging to know that it has the value, whatever that might be, no matter what you're doing, but it is there. And then also, it doesn't matter what you've done in your life because there's still value in everything. And the thing that I see the most with people is that they think, well, I've had all these heartaches, I've had all these difficult things, I've had all of that, these tragedies. But if you're still alive, if you've moved through it, then you have value. You see? So it's always there. It's just a matter of changing our perspective. And that is everything. Because all we have is our consciousness. That's it. We're all born with the same abilities. We're all born equal because we have the consciousness. However, it's also not developed. Not developed with any of us because we're still in that process individually and collectively. But I decided to ask a question this morning because I wanted to give you a little more information about this. And so I love having my AI because I can go in and ask different questions. I said, are we creating everything with energy? And I said, because I know everything is energy. And I've had all these experiences in my life. So tell me how that works. I have done more research and exploration of things throughout my life. It's just who I am. I just have to know everything. I just have to understand it. I want to understand the human condition because I had so much trouble finding it for myself. So I needed to discover something. And obviously, that was the life path that I was given. But I'm going to give you something else because I got an answer to that question this morning, and now I can talk about it and give it to you. And it's pretty exciting for me because I know that the more I give this information to others, then you start to live this really great life, and then we start to have a much better world. And that's what will come about because everybody has the ability to do that when we don't undervalue who we are or why we were born. And we have to understand that's, again, if you've been doing that, it's not your fault because you just learned it. It was programmed, or you picked it up and started to believe it. That's all that it is. And so when we understand that, then we know, oh, wait a minute, I can change it because I have the ability to think in a new way and to use the only power that I have, which is in your mind. And so this is a wonderful thing I put together for you, and you're going to enjoy this. Never undervalue yourself. Don't undervalue your value. And we're going to talk about this a lot more now. And it's this: everything in the universe, including humans, is energy. And we've heard that before. We've all studied it. But to understand how we might use that in our lives might be a little challenging, or how it might affect us. And so that's what I wanted to know. So, quantum physics has provided insights into the interconnectedness of all matter and energy. The concept of quantum entanglement suggests that particles once connected, can affect each other regardless of distance. This idea extends to a broader understanding that all things in the universe, including humans, are interconnected on a fundamental energy level. Some theories suggest that our consciousness and intentions can influence the energy around us, which aligns with the idea that we contribute to creating our reality. And then we can go on to the next part of it, and we're going to add science to it now. Biofield science is an emerging field that studies the energy fields that surround and permeate living organisms. Researchers in this field explore how these energy fields interact with our physical bodies and the environment. Studies have shown that biofields can influence our cellular processes, which may indicate that our energetic states impact not only our health, but also how we interact with the world around us. Then we're going to talk about consciousness because this is a fun one, because it's something that we still haven't figured out, because we probably never will, because there's always going to be more. The Institute of Noetic Sciences conducts research on consciousness, energy, and the interconnectedness of life. They explore how human consciousness interacts with the world and suggest that our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs can influence physical reality. This line of research aligns with the idea that our energy as a form of consciousness plays a role in shaping our lives and the environment. Psychology. We keep learning about that, and we've discovered and we keep developing more. Studies in psychology and social sciences have demonstrated the power of human intention and belief in shaping personal and collective experiences. For example, the placebo effect shows that beliefs and expectations can lead to real physical changes in the body. Social experiments have also demonstrated how collective beliefs and attitudes can shape societal norms and influence global events. Global harmony. These studies and theories suggest a complex interplay between human energy, consciousness, and the physical world. While this area of research is still evolving, it provides a compelling perspective on how we might contribute to shaping our lives and planet through our energetic states and intentions. Then, the next frontier. That's me, because see, I've lived all of that, and so I know that it's true. And that is what I've done. And so now my study is going to continue on so I can give it to more, because you're meant to do the same thing. We are still in this process of evolving into who we're meant to become, and each of us plays a vital role in that, and that's what is within us. Now, the other thing that happens is we won't believe certain things, and I did not believe what I had done. And when you listen to that one recording, I'll leave a link in this video as well so you can hear it, because I was in disbelief that at this age that I had accomplished what I had, that I healed everything, that I create. It said it in that video that I created something that could give any person the ability to really live this wonderful life. And so, but for me, that was seemed too unbelievable. And so for me, accepting that means that I was undervaluing myself, as you have done. The thing that happens, we will have these natural abilities that we tend to underestimate. But I was also told why that would happen, because we have belief patterns that we haven't been willing to move beyond. And this message came through in 2012, of course. One of the most limiting beliefs that you can hold is the one that tells you there are certain things that are too good to be true. This particular adage has been unknowingly implanted in your thinking, and therefore causes an effect in your physical life experience that can only yield limitation in some manner. You will literally halt your expansion in some direction when something comes to you that causes that belief to operate. You would do much better to attempt to reverse that belief and accept that anything that is good is true. In fact, that is indeed the reality of your experience. Now, that message came through, and it was not something that I was going to accept or understand when it came through in 2012, but I do understand it now because I talked to for years. What I've done is for the last 4 years, I've been talking about, wow, I have this work and it can change your life. And people will look at it and they said that's too good to be true. Someone also said the other day, oh, he's just telling you stuff because it's a scam. And I said, oh, that's really fascinating because see, that belief was implanted within them as well. And that's what makes it challenging once you create something new because people aren't going to believe it necessarily, especially the way I did it. I did it by contacting cosmic guidance, which means I was incorporating all the science I had studied, all the business stuff I had studied, and all of those, but also coming to the idea that every single human has something to offer the world. And I was given a way for them to understand that. And then the more of us who do that, we start to see a very different world. There's nothing that's happening in our world or in our lives that's accidental. We're doing it. And we're doing it the way we choose to operate, think, and live. Now, we happen to be moving through a very big change in our world now. It's a generational change. And so now all of our old beliefs are coming up as well. And so then you start to understand what science is, which I have proven, is that when you start to let go of the density, when you start to let go of the beliefs, the judgments that you've had on yourself and others, and you start to move through that because it's a generational change again, then you start to become lighter. You become healed. You become happy. You're putting a different quality of energy into our world. And then it shows up in your physical body. And that's why I can say, I know this is true because I've proven it. We hear all kinds of concepts about certain things that could work for us in terms of personal development. And we just don't believe it. Even when we've gone to churches and all of that, we just don't believe it, what we were told. We have to sit there and pray and think, is this really going to happen? Well, yeah, I did that too, but then it all came about in a way that was tangible. It's not made up, it's real. And so this is the part that I'm going to continue to study because what happened is this, and I'm just going to give you the real story so you get it. In 2020, I've been doing Wilhelm since 1989. And I, again, many of you know I wasn't going to talk about it publicly because I was just collecting information. I've done it for 35 years. Then to discover that I have collected so much information that it was a philosophy, and you listen to a Wilhelm session, they say we've given you an encyclopedia, and it's true because you can ask me a question, I can go and find an answer for you there. We all have that. That's how we can think of it as our AI now. We're putting all this information into this vault, which is our consciousness. That's how we use the Akashic records as well. That's a history of everything. There are different histories that we can look at, but you have to find the one that is yours because, as that message says, there's an interconnectedness, and so every person is a particle of the whole, all of you. And so, what we are meant to do is raise those particles to a higher understanding of who we are, and then we start to have the lives we're meant to have, and then we live a really great life. And so, I know that I have that now, which is really kind of fascinating because I could have never told you that was going to happen. I'm saying that to you because you have no idea what you can do, what you can accomplish. It doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter where you are now or how old you are. There is still more because the only thing you're using to do that is your consciousness. And that is a process of moving through every limitation that you've had in your thinking that's been either you've accepted or it was ingrained, or it could be this role that you decided to come into this role, into this life and live. Doesn't matter what it is. But the fact is, you have value. And the only reason you don't know that yet is that you haven't been given a way to interpret it. You haven't been given a way to actualize it. And my life was about creating something that could have you do that. And so I'm thrilled because I know that it works. And when I say to people, the only other reason that you wouldn't live this really great life is that you don't want to. And I can say that because I know it's challenging because I wasn't going to do it. Because see, moving into that place, moving beyond your shadow self, moving beyond that stuff and looking at who you are is challenging. And so a lot of people don't want to do it. And they would rather stay where they are and suffer. And I can say that because that's what it's like. When you can't own your authentic self, you suffer in every single way, financially, mentally, spiritually, the whole bit. I've accepted what I have done. And so, because I'm, at this age, at 73, this is all I'm doing. I'm giving this back. And there's going to be a story about it because I'm going to do a book. I'm going to do probably maybe a documentary. Let's call it that because the healing that has happened as a result of this work is something that, again, people just don't believe. They think it's too good to be true because we have this limited thinking if we haven't seen it. And you'll hear all of this in some of the messages because cognitive dissonance is spoken of often. And when you study that concept, you'll see what I mean, because we can be presented with something, but we'll look at it and we'll say, no, I haven't done it before, so it's not possible. I did that because the healing, I said, that's not possible. And that was reinforced in me as well. So you may have had that too. I mean, some of the medical things that doctors told me this can't be healed. And then I did it. So there are no limits to what you can do. And so I hope you take this into account and please do not undervalue yourself, even though you will. But when you decide, when you find yourself doing that, know that you have done it because there's so much more for you to accomplish, and then take the step to accomplish that, and things will be different. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm saying this, I'm going to play this video for my group tonight because I've been telling them for the longest time, I'm putting so much more information in here because I have it all. In 2021, when I first put my program out, I only did a portion of it because I just wanted to test it. I wanted to see. And then these people are like changing and becoming happy. I keep imagining, wow, what would happen if that went all over the world? That could happen because I'm going to be doing a global talk on October 19th. So we'll see how that comes about. But that's what is here. I want you to check out everything. Please join the Ascension Circle. Subscribe to this channel if you have not done that yet. But also, more importantly, just know that you have immense value that's within you, just awaiting your awakening. Nobody can do it for you, but you can. All right. See you guys soon.